everything that could go wrong went wrong. And the VARC section, you don't realize how much you've messed up until you find out the results. At least I can't. DILR section went fine. It wasn't very great. It wasn't very bad either. The quant section is where things started going downhill. Let's say 100 marks is the total marks of the entire paper, 3 sections. Then 50 marks or 50% will be roughly where 99.5 percentile lies. In quants, entire process will revolve around identifying the ABCs, which is abhi karo, baad mein karo and chhod do. My name is Avi Srivastav. I'll be joining Bangalore pretty soon. Right now I'm working as a Cloud Alliance Manager at Turing, and prior to that I have 1 year of WorkX at Sears as a cloud consultant. I did my BTech from BITS Pilani Goa campus in mechanical engineering. I passed out in 2021. Since then I've been working. This was my third attempt, so my first attempt was in CAT 2020. That was not with a lot of preparation. It was a fair bit of preparation, not that much. In 2021, it was with a fair bit of preparation. All of my mock season went very well. I was in the top 10 of AIMCAT, SIMCATs, all of that. Now this time also, I did not take a lot of stress, and this time the D-Day went well. Even though this was like the worst possible scenario, I'll be able to tell in a few minutes how. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. And the VARC section, you don't realize how much you've messed up until you find out the results. At least I can't. DILR section went fine. It wasn't very great. It wasn't very bad either. The quant section is where things started going downhill. Usually quant is my strength. And whenever I used to attempt, it'll be like 1 minute or 2 minutes have passed and I have attempted 1 or 2 questions. Then 10 minutes have passed, 5 questions, 15 minutes. It's like for every 1 question, I'll be taking 2 minutes. On the D-Day, in the quant section, happened such that the first 5 minutes, no questions solved. First 10 minutes, 2 questions solved. So obviously panic starts kicking in, and it's very difficult to recover from that. Eventually you realize that, okay, this was a difficult section for everyone. This is a logical argument that everyone is able to understand, but it's very difficult to execute at that point in time. So I messed up because of bad stress management. Eventually I did 11 questions and all of them were right, and if I had done two questions more, I would have had a better percentile. In my CAT 2020 I had a percentile of 99.59. In 21 I had 99.54, and this time I had 99.91. Cut to CAT 2022, we begin the preparation again. This time I didn't take a lot of stress. I was living alone, fairly chill, and I didn't stress myself too much over the preparation also. I was doing fairly well in mocks. I had realized that there's a fair bit of luck inside the D-Day, as we call it. While the preparation phase is one aspect, one also has to remain cool and calm on the D-Day. So that's what I focused on. Now this is a key lesson, right? Just prepare for the worst case for the D-Day, because everything that can go wrong again went wrong this time. This was the worst VARC on the D-Day that happened with me, the worst quant section also in terms of accuracy. DILR, at least the process by which I arrived at the answers was again the worst compared to the entire mock season. What happened with VARC was pretty normal. Again, I did not realize how many questions I'd gotten wrong. Generally, I used to get like 15 questions right and then 2 or 3 wrong. So normally my score would lie between 41 and 45. This time it was 33. So you can imagine how many questions I'd gotten wrong. Then DILR section comes in. DILR section is the infamous section which can make or break the entire paper for me. Usually I used to solve 1 set in 10 minutes, roughly. The first 10 minutes I have to solve a set, otherwise it will set a bad mood for the entire section and hence the quant section as well. The first 10 minutes go by, I don't have any questions solved, and then I'm starting to panic. So this is a key decision where should I spend more time, should I start looking at the question again and resolve it, or should I move on to the next set? So I moved on to the next set, solved it in 12 minutes, then moved on to another set, solved it under 7 or 8, maybe 10 minutes, and then there are 5-6 minutes left. Now this is a key moment, right? 5-6 minutes left, the timer turns red inside the paper, and red obviously means panic, and then that panic also creeps in. Then I decide I'll go back to the first set. By some stroke of luck, I figured out what was missing in my copying the data or whatever, interpreting the data. I was able to solve 2 more questions. Enter the quant section. The quant section is again a little bit lengthy, not that difficult, but a little lengthy. It was fairly decent quant section, but again my accuracy went down. I gave a lot of theta questions that were wrong, but thankfully no MCQs were wrong, so didn't get any negative marks there. Everyone's obviously trying to guess the marks. The next 1 week is highly stressful because everyone is like, where will the percentiles lie and what will be the cutoff, etc. So again, a key learning here is roughly when you're going through the mocks, simply assume that let's say 100 marks is the total marks of the entire paper, 3 sections. Then 50 marks or 50% will be roughly where 99.5 percentile lies. This is the key part. 60% marks is 99.9 percentile. From 99.5 percentile, where for a general engineer male like me, you get nothing, to 99.9 percentile, where you get pretty much every call. So that 10% marks is very critical. For VARC, your only concern should be improving the comprehension. When you read the first part of the sentence, you should be able to predict what the sentence will talk about. So if the sentence starts with a but, or although, or however, or more importantly, or for example, you already know what's going to be there in the sentence. So this prediction actually increases your comprehension of the sentence, and that's key. The recommended resource is Krishna Shripada's YouTube channel. Go through all of his videos, they're the best out there. I haven't found any other source better than him. Coming to DILR, it is purely stress management in practice. There's no resource, but if you want one, I'll say Elite's Grid YouTube videos. They're the best, and they have a very good set of problems from across the years. So use that for practice, but keep that practice in a timed format, and your purpose there should be to learn how to manage stress. In quants, firstly syllabus completion, do that by Rodha. So Rodha videos on YouTube, there is a whole bunch of like playlists and all of that. Finish that and then start practicing quants till you get comfortable with each topic. Once you've done that, then your entire process will revolve around identifying the ABCs, which is abhi karo, baad mein karo, and chhod do, right? So do it right now, or do it later, or don't do it. Let's talk about what comes in under A, B, and C. A, abhi karo means you can solve the question, you've done it countless number of times, and you can solve it under 1.5 minutes. Baad mein karo means you have a rough idea how you'll solve it, you don't know how much time it will take. And C is you have no idea about it. For A, do it from the get-go, and just your first round of the entire paper should go around identifying the A's correctly and then solving them, and then the second round will be B's, and then if time is left, then go for the C's. While practicing for the quant section, always try to find out a better and a shorter method. Shorter method does not mean you have to increase the calculation speed, because that's what people get wrong. It's not about increasing the calculation speed, it's more about writing less and thinking about steps, 2-3 steps beyond this, without writing it on a piece of paper. For me, generally it used to be all the A-type questions. Almost 70 or 80% of the A-type questions I would barely use the pen. For B-type questions I'd use the pen. C-type, maybe 1 or 2 questions that usually lied in the number system area that belong to the C-type, but other than that, nothing else. Obviously, the first time you have no idea about the syllabus. This is the first time you're preparing. And the third time you obviously know the entire syllabus, so there's time saved in preparing for the syllabus. First prepare the syllabus, compete with yourself, compete with others, and then relax. These 4 phases, for the first time you'll go through all 4 phases. For the third time you'll go through only the last 2 phases. You won't be competing with yourself. Tell yourself how much ever you want to, you'll not be competing with yourself. From the get-go, you'll be competing with others. The disadvantage there is you have this additional thing over your head that this is your final attempt, because roughly most people in the B school community have an experience of either 1 or 2 years. Beyond that, there are fairly less number of people. So there's that stress. But for the first years, I would recommend that finish your syllabus, at least the quants and the DILRs from the syllabus point of view, by May or mid-June. From mid-June to July end, compete with yourself, try increasing your score till 50% marks. And then from July onwards till October end, compete with others, try to see where is the topper getting more marks and is your sectional percentile very different from the topper's sectional percentile. Compete with your friends, try to get insights on how they are attempting the paper, should you change your strategy, all of that. And then in the month of November, just relax. I wouldn't say everything that you could do has been done, because it's not, but you have to get in that state of being a relaxed person. So I would recommend that keep November for just relaxing.